Okay, I think it's time for the sledgehammer. Let's get the cache out. Welcome to Mobile Application Tutorials. My name's Nigel. Right, in this part we're going to use some cache. We're going to put the images into a little bit of RAM instead of on the external storage and see what happens from there. Okay, let's get started. Right, I need to create a variable to hold my cache, and the initialization of that should happen inside your activity, preferably in the onCreate function. So let's go to our activity, zoom up, and we'll create our variable here. It's going to be LruCache. And the cache is going to be made up of two items. One's going to be the key for getting the bitmaps. Another one's going to be the bitmaps themselves. We'll call this memory cache. Right, now inside our onCreate, we're going to set up our cache. Now I need to initialize my LruCache. And I need to put the string in here. Bitmap. And now we're passing the cache size. Right, now this cache size is going to actually represent the number of bitmaps. It's going to represent the total number of bitmaps I can have in my cache. And for that, I need to set up this, I need to override this method. You find it first. So the method I need to override is the sizeOff key. So I need to override this, and what this is going to return back is the size of the bitmaps. And up here, the cache size is going to be the total number of bitmaps that will fit into the maximum cache size. So in here, we're going to return bitmap, which in this case is a value. I won't change the argument, and get byte count, and make sure we divide it by a kilobyte just to keep it synchronized with the total memory size. Okay, that's it. Okay, we've now set up and created our LruCache, our memory cache. Now we need to do is to create getter and setter functions to provide access to that memory. We'll do that in this activity. I'll add these at the bottom. I'll do the getter first. What should I call it? Get map. A bit long-winded, but I think you get the point here. And we're going to need to pass in a string which will represent our key. And this is going to return a bitmap, of course, so let's put that in here now. Okay, so we just need to add a return. And it's going to be memory cache. and get and pass in the key. Okay, so we've now got a getter for getting the bitmaps from the cache. Now we need to have the appropriate setter for that, to set the bitmaps to the cache. Similar naming convention, set bitmap to memory cache. In this case, it's still going to take the key, which we'll specify, and we need to pass it the bitmap in this case. And let's do a check here to see that we don't actually have a bitmap for that key. No need to overwrite the same bitmap if it's already in the cache. So we'll do getMap and pass the key. So that's equal to null. So there's nothing inside our cache relating to this key. We will set it and use a put command here. We shall take the key and the bitmap. Okay, my setters and getters are now done. Now we can actually implement those into our application. So the first place we'll go will be into the adapter, and we'll go back up to the well-used onBind view holder. What we want to do here is see if there's a bitmap currently in the cache. If so, we'll just assign that to the image view. If not, we'll just carry on normal and do the async task to get the bitmap from storage. So first of all, let's see if we can get a bitmap. And we'll have to call activity. And in this case, the key is going to be the name of the image file. We can get a name for that. Okay, underneath that, we need to check to see if the bitmap is not equal to null. So if we do have a bitmap in storage, let's assign it straight to the image view. So get image view again is holder, get image view, set image bitmap, and it'll be bitmap. Okay, that's fine. But when we first starting up the application, we're going to have no images in cache. So we'll need to go down here and put an else. So if image is in cache, assign it straight to the image view. If not, run an async task and get the bitmap from storage. Okay, so that's fine. We've now got a way of actually getting our images from cache, but we need the method, we need a way of actually putting the bitmaps into the cache. And we're going to do that in our bitmap worker task. So what I'll do here is just comment out this line here. And we need to get a bitmap. And it's going to be... And we're going to get it from the decode. Same function as above. Okay, so once we've got that, we can assign that bitmap, we can put it into the cache with the setter function. And we need to pass it the string, which is going to be our key, which is going to be the image name. And the bitmap itself. Then after that, we can just return it. We can return the bitmap as we would normally do to the onPost execute. That, I believe, is it. So let's run the code and see what happens. Let me record that so we can see that a bit easier. Okay, that's still working. Let's see what happens when I scroll. Okay, we've got the same sort of behavior in the last application, but what we've been doing is we've actually been populating our cache with the bitmaps. Now let's see what happens. This is what you want to be seeing, isn't it? Something nice and responsive. So basically what we're seeing here is we're now just extracting the bitmaps from the cache themselves once they've been populated from an async task. Okay, as with these tutorials, we're going to step through the code changes we made just to reinforce our learning. Okay, I'm going to add some breakpoints here now just to step through our code changes. Let's start from the activity. We'll put one in a getter and one in a setter. That's what I really want to do here. Now let's go into the image adapter. And I'll set one in the onBind viewHolder method. This is where we get the bitmaps from the cache, if they happen to be in the cache. And now I'll go to the async background task and set one here. This is where we apply the bitmap to the cache. Okay, let's run the debug. Okay, straight away, when we start the application, we're going to start loading bitmaps straight away, so we've got something to show in the gallery. But as you can see here, straight away, we're trying to do a check basically. In the image adapter, it's calling to see if a check to see if there's any bitmaps in the cache. There isn't, but it's still doing the check here. So this will return null. Let's carry on. So inside here, we're now gone to the background cast where we're actually going to start applying bitmaps into the cache. So if we go down. So we've got the bitmap. Now we're going to set the bitmap into the cache itself. Let's execute that. So here we've got the key, and the key is the name of the image name. I gave the image names sort of, atomic names, unique names. So we should be saying here, they're basically designed on a date stamp. So we've got the key here, and with the bitmap, we're inserting it into the cache. Remove that. And as you can see, initially the first time it's going to be a bit slow. What we're seeing here now is we're actually extracting, or no, we're not extracting, we're getting the bitmaps from the cache itself here. So our cache is now getting populated. So here we're going to set the actual bitmap itself instead of calling async task. So we step down. Yeah, so we didn't call an async task there to get bitmap, we just pulled the bitmap straight from cache. I'll remove that and carry on executing. And that's it, nice and quick. Everything's now on the cache. Depending if you've got a large enough cache and how many photos you want to display on your gallery, and how big the photos. There are a number of variables here. Okay, so that's it for this tutorial. We learned basically by creating some memory and applying it to our LruCache, we can bypass the background async task, pulling the bitmaps from storage, and get it off a lot faster cache memory, which makes a dramatic improvement to an application like a gallery. That's it for this one. If you enjoy my tutorials, please subscribe. That's all for this one. Bye for now. Okay, so I'm going to now start populating my cache with the bitmaps. It does take a bit of time. All the bitmaps have to be allocated, created. Okay, that's now